Hey, what's up? Maik Wiedenbach here, voted New York City's best trainer. This video is about how to stay in shape when working from home. So I made this, shall we say, offhanded remark that I gained all my muscle back just using bands, and that set off an instant firestorm like that. Oh no, bro, it's not enough. We need this, we need that, for bodybuilder, blah blah blah. So the question is, what do you need? Because let's face it, that virus isn't going anywhere, so there will be times where you have to train at home. And let's break training down scientifically as opposed to being bound to certain pieces of equipment, right? So first things first, muscles don't have eyes, so they don't know what you're lifting or whatever that is, whether that's car batteries or people or dumbbells. They don't know that, right? So the first thing is, no matter who coaches you, how good your program is, whatever equipment you're having, if you lose stability, you're done, right? So that's shoulder blades down and back for upper body exercises, and that hips pulled down for lower body. So in other words, if I'm doing rows and I'm losing my shoulders like this, it's not gonna work, okay? So stability, no matter, I'm telling you, whether you're lifting rocks or books or whatever, is key. That's one. Then two is activation, aka using the proper muscle. And we talked about this, but so let's say you're doing a curl, and this is great, but this is a front raise. So again, even if you're in the now defunct Gold's Gym and you're doing this, then all the great bodybuilders around you and all the equipment won't help you because you're not training your biceps, right? So activation, that's key. Then there is tension, and we talked about this. But keeping tension, especially through the negative phase. Your high school coach was right. Yo, bro, don't waste the negative. So, in other words, if I'm pressing for my shoulders, I let them plunge all the time, right? I never get to a consecutive 30, 40 second or so of tension. All I'm getting is 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. So I'm kind of like robbing myself of potential results, okay? So tension is key. And then there's execution, which for most people means finishing the rep. And that's tricky because finishing the rep for bodybuilding is not locking out, okay? So if I'm training like out of a chest with dumbbells, actually this is pretty easy because the weight just sits on here. This is actually really hard. So execution would be, I'm pulling them actively down and then I reverse into this, okay? So execution, again, whether you're training in the junkyard or at my gym, without execution, you're done, okay? Then there's volume. You need a certain volume, especially now with the intensity probably not there so much. You simply need a good amount of volume per muscle group. I would say anywhere from 10 to 20 sets, okay? And then there is weight. And that I feel matters the least because you're in a situation where you just might not have any more weight, right? So with the bands I can stand wide, I can do this, but as long as I'm focused on my stability, my execution, my tension, I'm on a pretty good track to make progress, and activation, of course, right? So those things as a take-home message are key no matter what you have access to or might have access to going forward. Then somebody asks, how do you stay motivated training from home? You don't, okay? There's nobody, like, I don't care who you are, maybe if you have like this awesome garage gym in California that gets out of bed and is like, oh yeah, let me do my 2 dumbbell workout, okay? Motivation, and that goes for all sports and all people that are successful, is simply habit, okay? So, successful CEOs or whatever, they're not super pumped every day to do this. They just do it because it's a habit and they have a greater goal in mind, right? So the same with training, like you don't have to be super excited every workout. You just have to do it. And I said this before, but if you chop it up, you know, you do like half the session then and half the session there, like, so my day is like weirdly cut up between attempting of homeschooling and doing work and whatever, then cut it up, right? That's totally fine. But do something. So in conclusion is, yes, having a gym is great, but if you violate activation, tension, stability, and execution, you're not going to make progress regardless of what you're dealing with, okay? So realistically for me, it's going to be another 4 weeks of bands. Let's see